就不好意思，我们稍微延迟了几分钟哦。那现在大家都很辛苦，其实我现在搞不清楚到底我们是要线上上课还是要实体上课。那我们先试着走一段时间看看，那因为随着疫情的变化，我们也无法预测将来几个礼拜会怎么样发展。那我知道有些，好像脑科所呢，我们在某些必修的专题讨论上面已经就是要线上来上课了。好，那我们就看看这到底怎么做比较好。但是一开始呢，我觉得其实这个课程设计的目的是希望能够在这个实际操作上有一些应用哦。那就是我们会用 MATLAB 这一个平台，然后就是带大家写一些就是人工智慧分析的一些工序。所以原则上还是按照这个实体上课方式，但是如果真的有什么变化，学校要求说都要是线上的话，那我们就采用线上的方式。但是我们这个课程的都会录影，然后都会放在网络上，所以之后我会请那个易如就是调查一下大家的联络方法，那大家都可以收到那个以下的就是这个课程的连接哈。所以这就是大家规划的方式。那这个课我大概的构思的方式呢，就是会希望能够有一堂课的这一个教学，另外一堂课呢，我会实际带大家用一些实际的资料来做一些东西。那所以课堂里面所有的这些用到的，包括 MATLAB 这些程式码都会提供给大家是公开的。哦，例如说。
There is a student that they can barely understand
Oh,
Chinese,
okay.
so maybe you can introduce in English or.
Yeah. Welcome to this lecture. And so this course, I will try to illustrate the concept of digital medicine and intelligent healthcare. And I will show how to apply those AI algorithms into the real world. So I will use some examples. For example, I will illustrate how to use chest X-ray and also brain MRI imaging and also like physiological signals. And so we can use these tools to develop some AI tools. And the most importantly, I want to show you how to integrate these tools into our clinical workflow. So that's the most important part. So as I said, that's the course I will try to divide into two parts. So each lecture, the first part I will show you some important concept, and the second part I will do some workshop. And all materials I will put out into the internet. So, but hopefully most slides will be in English. So I will try to balance between my use of language and the materials, but most of the materials will be English. So for some parts, I still want to talk in Chinese because that's easier to illustrate and also the student can follow. Yeah. May I ask which country you come from?
I come from Vietnam.
Vietnam, okay.
I am the student, first year PhD student of International Health Program, and Nicole tell me that there's a.
Yeah, I know, because a few days ago, the international department contacted me that there are some international students that want to come here, but it's okay. I hope you can understand that for some parts, I will try to illustrate in Chinese. I think that would be easier. Okay? Yeah. 那其他同学如果介意我用英文讲还是中文讲，还是都可以。应该可以啊，好，我其实也没有特别准备用中文或英文，但就是如果用英文大家可以接受的话，那我就大致上先用英文试试看，好了 ，OK。So this is the course syllabus that I intend to do this semester, and you can see that. For the first few classes, I will try to introduce what is the intelligent medicine. And also, in the next class, I will show you how to do the clinically driven artificial intelligence. And what is that? How do we prepare data into the format for the training of artificial intelligence models? And also in the next class, I will invite one of our senior doctors in Yangming University, who is Tang Gaojun 院长啊. She is the previous superintendent of our university hospital. And he is a anesthesiologist, 麻醉科医师哈. And he is also chief of the intensive care unit in the Taipei Veteran General Hospital a long time ago. So I will invite him to show you the concept of the intelligent medicine and what is the clinical-driven AI data. And in the third class, I will show you how to do the machine learning, what's the basic concept. And as I said, for each class, I will do the workshop in the second half of the class. And then in the fourth class, I will show what's the regression model, which is the basic tools of the machine learning. And also, as the course advanced, I will show you how some real example. For example, in our lab, we are very interested in how using MRI data to predict the brain age. And so I will use the regression model to illustrate how to do this with the MRI data. And the next step, I will show you some conventional machine learning method, like random forest and its applications. For example, we can use this to make AI diagnosis of insomnia based on just questionnaires. So the whole class will have two case presentations. So the first case presentation will be on the April the 30th, and there's a final presentations. So maybe we need to divide our students into several groups. So I will ask you to help in this, okay? So maybe just 3 or 4 is fine. I don't want just a small group, because I think that most project will require the collaboration between students. So I don't want just too few students, so it will be very stressful. I don't want that. And also, in the second half of the course, I will try to illustrate the clustering method. For example, we have the data recording the EEG signals in Alzheimer's patients. Then we will use EEG data to phenotype the different types of Alzheimer's disease. And in the final section will be very important part. Is the most the exciting part is that we have many applications using the convolutional neural network. So we have a pathology image analysis and chest ray, X-ray, brain CT, brain MRI, etc. So I need to emphasize that all of these data are in the public domain, okay? But some of them actually comes from our clinical trial. But I will not give you the data with identification. So for example, for the brain age data, I cannot give you the raw material, but I will have the pre-processed the data, so for you to do some analysis. So just let you know that many data are from public domain, so there's no issue of IRB regulations. Okay, so this is the whole picture of our course. And I also want to show you how to access our class materials. So let me show you how to log on into our lab. So our lab is called the Precision Psychiatry Lab. So just let me switch to another Wi-Fi access point.大家可以接受我用英文讲话吗？可以吗？可以。好，我尽量讲的，我想不会很快，所以不会说就是如果大家觉得任何没有跟上的地方，随时跟我说，好不好 ？OK。我觉得好像回到在美国上课的感觉。 Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, so if you type in the precision psychiatry, which is PRECISION PSYCHIATRY.org, then you can log on to our laboratory website. And just on the right side, you can see the links. So just click on the links, and you will see the teaching course here. So this is the 2020 the course, and you can click the enter protected area here. So the password is the IHA, which is the first letters of each name of our course, and 2020. So you can just log into the course. I'm not sure what happened. Let me see. Oh, okay. Let's talk about, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. You would jump to another page. So in this page, you will see the slides I provide for each course. So as the course advances, I will put onto the latest slides here. So today I will have one lecture and one workshop. And also in the second half of this course, I will show you how to use MATLAB to read test X-ray files. Okay. So I know some of you already know how to use MATLAB, but let me ask. So, who is not familiar with MATLAB? Okay, that's too many. Right? So in the last semester, I have a course teaching a biomedical signal analysis using MATLAB. So for those are familiar with MATLAB, just be patient. I will still use a very basic way to show you how to use MATLAB. Okay. Okay, let's back to our course here. Okay, apologize that this is in Chinese, but I just want to show you the idea. What is the intelligent medicine? So probably a few months ago, when people asked me or I asked my friends, what is intelligent medicine? Everyone gives different answers. So everyone has a different ideas about the intelligent medicine. And in reality, it is very diverse. For example, here show the different major hospitals in Taiwan, and different hospitals, they already developed different applications. And for example, in some hospitals developed some very unique information system to integrate those systems into the healthcare information system in each hospital. But some are very important. For example, in one case, when we need to arrange staffs in our medical unit, we need to know who will be on the shift in each day. So that is the big task. And in the past, we require humans to arrange the schedule for each day. And that is a very difficult task because many different persons have different preferences. For example, some do not want to do the shift at night, and some just don't want to do the shift on Monday or Wednesday or something. So, for example, in the nurse scheduling is a very tricky part, and there's no good way to do this in the past. And with the AI, then we can just make this more convenient. Actually, there are some companies in Taiwan and try to develop such systems. And also, there are in the Taipei Veteran General Hospital, we already have some very important application. For example, we have a big the cancer information database that can help doctors to do the clinical decisions. And also, we have like a very big imaging database. So we can do some AI models on that imaging platforms. Actually, in Veteran General Hospital, in the last year, they claimed that they have AI clinics. I can tell you that is still in a very prototype stage, but that is the idea in the future. So this is the whole ideas about intelligent medicine. The whole idea is that we can try to incorporate information technologies into our hospitals. And for example, we can do the cloud computing. So you can see that if you look at the business size, and the most prosperous one is the cloud computing. And the following one is the data analysis. So that's why I think most of you want to learn these two things so you can find a very good job in the futures. And also in the hospital, we have other very important application. For example, now we have a coronavirus epidemic. So there's more and more need to do the remote healthcare. So we need to do the remote monitoring and also remote the clinic, and so the people cannot just reduce the risk of the infection. And also we need to automate some like drug, the medication, and also like medical supplies. And we need to automate the logistics of these things. And so these are the only information technologies. So that's the support of the intelligent medicine here. I just show you one example. This is the example from the Taichung Veterans General Hospital. And so you can see that the central idea of this system is the cloud service. So each information, we need to find a way to upload into the cloud service. And this cloud service needs to do some AI calculations and to give feedback to the users, or like give back to the nursing stations or something like somewhere else, even to the user at home. So this is the whole picture. And there are many hospitals in Taiwan that already try to incorporate these kind of things, including our future plan of the National Yang University in Hsinchu. I will show you what is that in a later time. And actually, but in the United States, you can see that the United States is a very commercialized country. So you can see that there are already many new companies to devote into the different areas. For example, the infection control. They have an intelligent way to monitor the infection and tracing the source of the infections. Also, you can see that lots of the companies devote into the radiology. So they devote into the AI algorithms and platforms of the imaging data. And also the patient monitoring is another big cluster. There are many companies try to do the wearable device. They try to implement this device into the hospital. And also, I think in the future, the important part is about the medication management and hospital navigation. Because when patients enter the hospital, they're always often confused about what they are going to do. So imagine that if you have a very important, very convenient device that can tell you what to do next, then that will improve the patient's experience in the hospital. So this is the whole picture, and if you are interested, you can just try to search the company, this name of the company on the website, on the Google, so you can know what they are doing. So this is a very prosperous area. But for now, I just want to show you my idea about the intelligent healthcare. So in the last semester, if some already learned about digital medicine, I talked mainly about the digitalization and artificial intelligence, but I think for the intelligent healthcare, the most important part is the third one, the third component, which is the information-oriented clinical workflow. Okay, so but today I will still want to go through these three components. Okay, so to show you what is the component inside these ideas. So from the beginning, I want to just show one concept. So what makes a doctors doctors? So we as a doctor that we actually try to recognize patterns in patients. So for example, in the very early time, there's a very famous neuroscientist called Raymond Caha. And at that time, there is no computer, there is no like a very advanced imaging technology. What he had is just one microscope. So he wanted to study what's inside the brain. So he can only just try to draw what he had seen in the microscope. So this is very early paintings that made by the Dr. Caha. And based on this painting, now we know that in the brain there are different neurons, different types of brain tissues that then forms the neural networks. So this is a very basic idea as what doctors do. We do the pattern recognitions. But even in the earlier times, in the 18th century, then people don't know what's the relationship between the heart rate and respiration. So the Dr. Stephen House, he did a very crazy experiment. He just used a glass tube and pierced into the horse's the cerebral the carotid arteries. So this is very fatal. So you cannot do this in a human. So you can only do this using horse. So when you use a glass tube and pierce into the carotid arteries, which is on your neck, then the blood arterial blood will just flush in a very high altitudes, like according to the blood pressure. So they observed that this fluctuation of the blood pressure actually correlate with the respiration, and that is the first time that people know that the heart rate is controlled by the respiration. So this is also the pattern recognitions. And also in psychiatry, we can observe human behaviors. So for example, we have, this is a very old literature